Hey, back again, or, a little bit at least. So, same deal as yesterday. I will have to leave for work eventually. So, do what I can. But, not necessarily going to be a whole bunch, all things considered. Um, right. So, where I left off, I want to figure this out. So let me check the book and see, because these are not symmetrical. So that's considerably lower than that on this one, but I'd established that that's not accurate to this anyway. Yeah. So looking at this, that comes up higher anyway. Okay. So that as a line, actually, probably not that. So this line is not a thing. I'm going to get rid of this. So looking at this is higher and at an angle. So I'm going to get rid of this. Okay. Where do I actually want to put this? Mm-hmm. More okay with that. Yeah, more okay with that. I'm going to get rid of this. So I've got to consider the fact that there's going to be a gap there. It's not just a split. It is a whole ass gap. Like that. I'll roll with that for now, I guess. Yeah, I'll roll with that. And then looking at that, it's different. References. References come to me. I have the same problem I did yesterday, where I just don't have enough. In the way of specifics. See, that's different. That's in line with that, which I've already established I'm not a fan of. Mm. Let me see. Let me see the general consensus here. Kind of really hard to tell. Of course it is. Let's see, it's slightly higher on that one. I want to get fixated on stuff that doesn't matter again. See, on this model, it's lower. Which I kind of hate. There's the... Do I not have, like, the original model somewhere I can reference? Let me Google it. Right. Yeah, see, that's low on there. Yeah, that's much lower on that. Hmm. So many conflicting sources. Okay. Then that puts that side higher up, which I don't enjoy. Maybe I do just take it lower then. But then that's different. It's the little things that drive me mad, to be honest. That'd be fine if I was referencing this one, but I'm not. I'm referencing the concept. Okay, right. I think I will take it lower. Or use a ruler, really. I think if I take it from here, what sort of angle? Similar to the one we have in here, or... Because I did that at an angle deliberately, so... Yeah, I'm more okay with that. Yeah, let's go with that. Sure. Let's go with that. Because I still want to make these different, you know? So, I don't necessarily want to have this here. I don't mind doing the leafy thing. Unless I did the leafy thing up top, which would be kind of cool. I'll think about it. Either way, I want to make these deliberately different. The straps can follow the same theme. I don't want them to actually be the same, you know? So that comes up higher. So I want to make sure there's enough room for this little strappy bits. So if I said I followed that, or do I do it the same as this? So I follow that. I think I do the same as this. So along like that. Yeah. Then if I'm doing that outer line, so actually it should be that, and this one comes in. It's fine. It usually takes me a couple of days to decide whether I like something or not. So I'm thinking if I can at least draw all of this in today. I can come and stare at it for a while and decide whether I like it or not. And it's about the same, so I don't understand. Maybe I just need to draw this out first. I know it follows that. Yeah. That's about half, that's why. Okay. Roughly that. I want to have some aspect of this consistent, but I don't deliberately trying to keep it asymmetrical. Then that is bothering me. Which I suppose just means I'm doing it correctly, realistically, but even then, still bothers me. Okay. Because this can stay as it is. See, that ends up pretty even, which is kind of great. Yeah. That works out unreasonably well in relation to this one. So I'm actually cool with that. As far as like that strap, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, I like how that looks. I'm still wondering whether I do these up here. It's a temptation. So again, making it asymmetrical is kind of a thing here. Did I have... No, I didn't in the end, did I? Yeah, having them next to each other is nice. But I want to see. I want to see if I like the leafy things up the top. So if I, first of all, clear all of the eraser shadings off the board. Okay. I line these up. See, I like that. I like that quite a lot. Okay. Draw it in anyway. So I think this might work out kinda well. Yeah. Hmm. I don't like it without that one at the bottom as well, though. I don't mind that. So if it was just that, I do mind it. Just that is okay, but together, actually, quite like that. That's quite cool. That's the only thing, is that as far as keeping everything even, it ain't. Doesn't matter though. I don't think I mind. Because I know this is even in relation to where this is. So I don't really mind. I don't mind these being closer and these being further. Yeah. I don't mind that at all, to be honest. And then if I just do something like this again, but maybe if I did it down here, yeah, maybe. Let me see. Um, More like that. Let me see. Now I've got the day off tomorrow, so plan is to do more of this for longer tomorrow. But also, I need to sort a cake out for a mate's birthday. Well, late, belated birthday on Sunday. So I gotta allow myself some time to do that as well. But actually, yeah, if I'm busy all day Sunday, should probably check and see what I need to do. I can do this in the morning before all the shops open, etc. Okay, I don't mind that. Yeah, I don't mind that. It's pretty okay. Yeah, that works. Because then it's still asymmetrical, but not in a way that's jarring. How am I going to do that inner circle on the moon? That's going to bother me. There are tons of circles in here. Spray paint be too big? Maybe? Have mini spray paints. What about you? It's pretty okay. I need to split this down the middle so I know where I'm drawing this. But after that, it'll be fine. How big is this circle? I line it up with the lines. Ah, thanks past me. Accidentally useful. So 7.5. Less useful. So 3, 2, 5. Which again doesn't really help me a whole bunch. There-ish. And that's just wrong. No, because it's 7.5. So 7, so 7, 5, 3, 7, 5. 7. Here-ish. Hang on. I'm overcomplicating it. I can literally count the squares. That's fine. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares, so it's literally the third line. So actually, my guess was pretty good. For God's sake. One day I will cease to be an idiot. Until then, guess I'll just deal with it. But, you know, one day. Jeez. Right. And how am I gonna... Should probably draw the middle of this as well. So I can match it up. Actually, like 5.1. Okay. So, I said 5, and it'd be 2.5, basically. Chew. Chew. Aish. Dust, probably. Yeah, why don't I just follow this? Trying to get a straight line sucks, that's why. So if I do the same on this side, basically 2.5. At least then I've got something I can kind of follow, right? No, it's just not true. Awesome. Right. I'm sure there are better ways of doing this. Don't necessarily know what those are, so screw it. Now, this ought to give me a pretty even circle. Okay. Don't mind that. So, references. Actually, yeah. Kinda do. So, I just take away. I line this up and make sure I'm taking it back to an even point. Back to there. Back to there. Okay. Nice. That's pretty cool. Pretty okay with that. Right. Now, when I line it up with the other one, do I like them together? I mean, yeah. Yeah, I do like them together. Okay. I mean, I think I can probably whack some Sharpie on the bits I know for sure. To the strappy bits and that border. Those are going to stay consistent. So, time to test how well I can draw a single line again. That'd be easy to see if I have paper in the back. I'm so not a single line drawer. Can't do it for shit. But at least I'll have a thing by the end of this. Okay. Good enough. Then yeah, I can do these bits as well. Yeah, that line is solid. That's the one that's not, which is fine. Okay. I want to do these first, but I can't, because then I'll be leaning on it, and I'll smudge it. So that would actually be a terrible idea. Unless I do those lines, and then work on the sort of chest bit. Maybe that's a better idea. So I want to have these lines in, really. See, that was fine. All the angles, I guess. Okay. That's fine. I'll wait for that to dry for a bit. And in the meantime, I'll look at this. No, I really don't want to tackle the moon, so I'm totally going to screw it up. Not looking forward to this at all. Could have gone worse. Not good, but it could have gone worse. And again, I've got to try not to lean on things, which is really difficult. Could have gone way worse, so it's fine. We'll roll with that. Okay. I'm hoping I can go back to this at this point. Look at these. Mm-mm. Okay. Not great. Does it matter? Probably not. Fine. Once I've done this, I need to redo the ones that I did before. I don't like them. I like these a lot more than I like the other ones. So, we'll have to rethink those. It's fine. Um, how much time have I got? Got enough. Got enough to at least start looking at those as well. And at some point, I need to start ordering fabric for the actual thing itself. He says, like, none of this counts. I mean, like, the tunic. And the tunic's gonna be easy. I always prefer starting with the stuff I know is gonna be difficult or time consuming. Just for my own peace of mind. I always save the stuff that I'm more confident with. So that's one of those, if time starts getting tight, at least I know I can kind of just blitz through that. So that's whatever. That's why I started looking at the sword so early on. Because I got no idea. Not really. But also, I don't particularly want to be messing around testing resins and stuff when I've only got like an hour or so in the morning. Because there's an awful lot of setup, etc. Enough. Now, I kind of want to do that with a ruler, but also I don't want to get any pen on any rulers. Having said that, pretty sure one of these will already have pen on the edge. Maybe it's this one. Yeah. Okay. It's fine then. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Nice. Should definitely wipe that edge before it dries. At least get the worst of it off. Yeah, good enough. Okay. So at this point, what am I left with? That, and that. Yeah, I like those. They're cool. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Yeah, alright, I like those. So they're good. So, next order of business is very much going to be redoing the other bits. Mm. Okay. Yeah. Let me go grab more water. Then I'm going to come back and rethink bits that I've already done, because I don't like them. This one is almost okay, but I think it's only because I like this bit. The rest I just don't like at all. This I really like. And I think I use that as a lot of what I'm actually referencing. I think that's going to help. So, as far as things I already have, those. So I've done the chest pieces. So that's fine. So I need to redo this. And that. Which is fine. Okay. These are all sword patterns anyway. So they're whatever. But yeah, I need to redo these. So that is fine. Okay. Right. I'm gonna go get more water. And then I'll be back. So bear with. in the room. So, where I want to be going from here is... I want to cut more of these and redo them, basically. Start with this one, because I kind of already sort of know what I want to do with that. So, do I have any scraps that'll fit on? Yeah, it'll fit on that. But would this fit on that as well? Yeah, so I'll save that for that one, to be honest. Okay, well I've got another one anyway. So, alright, that's fine. Again, back to the whole, I don't ever like wasting things. So I can use that, that's fine. I use that. I knew I was going to do that. I considered taping this before I tried to draw around it. I thought, you know what? It ain't that deep. Got a rough idea what I want to do with this. I'll take the elements that I liked from the first one. Scissors. Right. Don't know what I'm going to be able to get out of that particularly, but I'll save it anyway. Alright. So I know that it sits. So, I also know what I liked from the original was this and that. I liked those. I also know this is what will actually be seen. So, I just quickly draw around that. At least then I've got a rough idea of what I actually need to cover. enough. Okay. Then I want to kind of sort of just copy this, really. Technically, I could just copy that direct in pen. Technically. So I liked that. And I liked swirlies. Right, good enough. So I liked those, and then didn't really like an awful lot else at all. Nice. Alright. Well, knowing that, I can pin this down. Sort of here, maybe. Alright, good enough. Okay, from there, kinda just gotta make it up. Hmm. Don't really want to be referencing this, because I think that's gonna throw me off. Because there are elements of this that I like. But, in fairness, this isn't terrible. Hmm. What do I want to do with you? I think following curves is kind of a good idea. Hmm. I also think leaving something fairly consistent along the edge is going to look nice. So actually, if I just draw a reasonably consistent line that things kind of meet as the lowest point. No. Okay. What do I actually want to do with this? I don't know. Maybe that orange Sharpie guy. I think. I just say. Yeah. That then becomes the lowest point I'm allowed to get to. Unless I literally just feels like cheese in it, but also it could kind of look pretty cool. I did it from there. Maybe I literally just do that. Okay. think I think this has potential. Follows along that. It's not the worst. What I might say though is I get it to follow that a little more closely. Yeah. I think I can get away with doing this whole piece. It's just a snaky thing. I think that'll work. Yeah. I can definitely get away with that. then do I do the triangle thing for it? Maybe. I try and get a center line in. Then I can mess around with the top line and make that even. Yeah, I think the snaky thing's gonna work. I think everything was too busy before. Didn't really know what I was doing with it. I just knew I wanted a lot of stuff, which is fine. But when it's incoherent, it's just kind of, what's the point? Why bother? Bother if it doesn't make any sense. At least this makes sense. Now, where does it end? Because I can cut it slightly shorter. Let me spin Boris around and have a look. Because really, if I end it before this point, where's the little back thing? That's the bigger one, which is fine. But there'll be a smaller one under here, which takes it to about there. Which is roughly, what? 3 inches from the end. I said it was about there for that. Then I also want to leave a gap. Decent gap. So the gap from here is about 1.5 centimeters. So if I do roughly the same thing here, so sort of there-ish. Always call it 2. No, do 1.5 from there. Make it that line to make my life slightly easier. Pull it from there. And get rid of the rest of this. So I keep that space empty. And I got room to move. Now, this is what? Again, why am I doing inches? Roughly 4.5 sims total. There's 2 around here. Okay. That. And that. That. No. So that's the thing, is it's considerably thinner. So what I might do for that actually is I know it comes to around here. That's all very well. But I had a bunch of scrappy bits, so let me see. That wants to be over here somewhere. Follow that line. End roughly there. Let me rub this out so I can actually see what I'm doing. Comes to that line. Follows that. It's hard to see. Let me make this darker. A lot of lines on this at the minute. That's better. And I want it to go up to there. Follow this line. If I draw this out first. Is that going to be a problem? I take that down to here sooner. Is that going to make a difference? Maybe. Let me get rid of that. And that. Deal with that in a minute. Taking it to about there. I just go ahead and commit to that. Why is this pencil so sketch? Right. Okay. I then swoop that down and round. Back up. I'm more okay with that. So I think keeping it simple might not be a bad thing here. So I want this bit to be kind of nutty. If it's too chaotic, the whole thing's going to look messy, which is the opposite of what I want. So yeah, I think might actually be the sensible way of playing that bit. Yeah, I think I commit to that. So I can draw these in again. At least attempt to. Fine. Good enough. No. I unpin this. That then shouldn't have any conflict with the back piece, which is good. Okay. Now, as far as splitting it into even segments, that's going to suck. I wonder. That goes until. Yeah, that doesn't quite. Unless. So if I say that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not super inaccurate, in fairness. Yeah, that's pretty even. So actually, what I think I'll do, pin that back on again. Then kind of make some stuff up a little bit. I want to get the segments in. I think. Because it's facing that way. Unless. This looks fairly central. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so 6. B around here is the actual middle. Okay. Because to me, that just says I should be able to do this. It's not an actual center line, is the point. Unless I kind of... Okay. Right, hang on. Let me cook. I got a plan. Let's say... As far as an actual center line... About that. Yeah, so it's about that. Mm, okay. I do that and then move it so that that actually fits the line. I reckon. And that's not even. Hmm. Right sort of idea. In fairness, it shouldn't matter. Because if I'm planning to make the whole thing even anyway, then the only reason I'm doing it this way is to prove a point. Okay. It's fine, this shouldn't actually matter. Point is, it'll eventually be what? Eventually be like that. It'll eventually be like that. Yeah, fine. Fine. At least I know what I'm doing. And I'm gonna say that's probably sensible for that piece. So, if I were to take this bit off from under here, that, whack that one there. Okay. Let me pin this on here so I can at least get an idea of how it looks as a whole. So looking at all of these as individual pieces, great, but also kind of matters how they all come together. So let me just Let's do it from down here. Whack that on there. This up under there. That's fine. Kind of need to establish this one first, or didn't matter. Didn't matter. Let me whack another bit on there, actually. Stick this up under. Yeah, see, that's the thing. So there's then not much of a gap there. Okay. Okay. Just gotta hope that kind of stays where it currently is. Okay. Might have to make it slightly thinner. That's fine. That's why things are tested. So, let's have a quick look at this. I feel it's too far away to actually see what I'm doing with this. Totally is. Also, I can't really bring it much closer and keep it up high. So, probably the best I'm going to do with that, to be honest. I just want to test this. I want to test it and see how these look next to each other. Actually on the thing. So I already know this I'm going to have to make a lot thinner. Like, it's just not... It's not giving me enough room for moving around stuff. Can I angle this, maybe? No, I can't. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough, I tried. Let's pin this on here. And do the same with this. Now. Right, that's one. That's the second. Already not 100% sure. Again, I tend to leave these things for a couple of days and look at it periodically. Usually tell what's bothering me pretty quick. one of those when you've been staring at something for a while, you just kind of lose track of it, you know? Like, it gets hard to make any real distinctions. Whereas if you've been away from it for a bit, suddenly things jump out at you and seem kind of obvious. But don't mind it. You kind of see. You kind of see on that cam. Probably lay him down for a second, actually. Hang on. Doesn't. It's so unhelpful. Right, hang on. Let's just do that. I can kind of see what I'm looking at. So actually, looking at it in the viewfinder, it's pretty okay. I don't mind it a whole bunch. I definitely like this side more because of these, but I don't really have anywhere to put those on here. And the lack of symmetry is kind of a plus for me as well. And down here, the problem I'm having is really hard to see, but basically this is too thick. There's not enough clearance for this. But that might be okay by the time everything's sat properly and where it should be, I don't know. But at the minute, I'm thinking I might need to thin the snake out a bit. I'll have to see. The straps on the plus side look pretty cool. I'm okay with the straps. They need to come down a bit in here, but I'll probably have a border down there anyway, so that's fine. And they're kind of even on both sides, which is good. I like that. So yeah, at the minute, reasonably cool with it. I think I'll just have to keep going. And as I say, fresh eyes is usually the easiest way to determine what is actually bothering me. So yeah, for now, it's one of those, I'll stand it on here and then stare at it a whole bunch. And then eventually something will probably jump out at me and I'll go, ah, that's what I don't like. Just fine. Now I also really want to fix this. This is a mess. What was I doing with this? This was one of those, oh, I know I want this thing, but had no idea how to actually apply it. So, yeah, just didn't actually help anything. No, I already got it out, didn't I? Yes, right. So let me cut another one of these. Then, I can save a little bit of this. Pencil back. Okay. So yeah, I will cut another one of these. Still don't really know what I want to do with this bit though. Then I thought I knew what I wanted with the other bit and then changed my mind. So, who knows? I definitely think having borders is what stops this from being chaos. So, yeah. Let me cut this, have a think. That's probably gonna be useful at some point. That's a maybe. That's also a maybe. Just for little bits. Okay. So, what do I like about this? I like the different curvy things. I definitely like the different curvy things. I need to go off of this as far as where the... So let me just copy lines off of this so I know what I'm drawing to. Or maybe that's what bothered me to begin with. Let me do it anyway. With the Sharpies that I unhelpfully put back. Right. So now I know what I'm lining it up with. Slightly better. Okay. Right. Line these up, and I know what I'm following. That seems pretty okay. Okay. So that's the chest bit. I think, again, having a border is what makes all of this less yucky. But then I'm going to have a border because it's going to be that bit that runs along the edge. So actually, I don't need to worry about it for this. So there's going to be a bevel piece, but I'm just saying. So actually, that's a non-issue. So I like this specifically. Can I fit that in somewhere? Yeah, but okay, I like that. Maybe I like that whole first bit. I think the thing I didn't like was that everything was too thick. So let me just try and slide this under. I think I like this. Yeah, I do like this. This whole bit, I like. I think it is just too thick. So I reckon... I reckon I do this, but thinner. So if I just take it in... What? Much? And then swoop it around from there. And then... Yeah. And up. Yeah, I still think having a border is going to matter. Get down a bit. This pencil is a mess. It's too soft. Ugh. Okay. That's then fine. And then what I want to do is kind of have... that. Yeah, that then seems way too small. Seems too small. Don't know. Don't want it to be too big, though. If it's too big, it looks weird. This, to me, still feels like it's too big. I'd like the premise of it. So... feels way too small. So I think what I do with that actually is... I think I go with plan A as far as creating some kind of a border. Right, that's fine. Then that's better. That's a lot better. Yeah, okay. Let me put this piece away. I'm done with this for now. Then I think the curve I like. I like the curve and the way some of the swirly bits join together. But at the minute, it's all too big. I think that's what's throwing me. So I say that's all fine and good. I don't want to take it to... about there. Thing is, I still want to make it fairly long. Let's do that. Because that border is a soft border. It's not like a solid line. It's just an idea. You ever get those, like, just intrusive movie quote things that crop up when you say something? It was one of those, like, it's just like an idea of a border, some kind of abstraction. No, I'm not doing it. Not not at 4 in the morning. That is concerning. Can't get away with that. I want to do another line along here. Because then I can take... I don't think so. I think this comes up higher. Yeah. I think what I do is draw this bit out first. I want this to be fairly long. I want it to be bigger than that, but not a whole lot. I don't know though, I still kind of like that. Just in general. Yeah. I'm not sure whether I mind it being that big actually. So let's just say screw it. And take it more or less the whole way. Maybe I do literally just copy this first bit. Yeah, I'm gonna just copy this first bit because I think I like it. I want things to be varying sizes. So I think I just make this as big as the original. I think that's what I want to do here. Even if I have to mess with it slightly down the line. Not the end of the world. I'm pretty sure I like the way this goes. I think this is going to be a direct rip from here. This comes all the way down. Follows round along that line. I think this then just comes in slightly more. That's better. Okay. So I like that. I also kind of like the way that this goes. Kind of. Maybe I just have to slide that slightly closer. Yeah, I like this. Where'd it go? Where'd my chunk of eraser go? Ugh, why am I blind and stupid? It's really irritating. Oh well, it's so typical. Short-term memory is not my strong suit. Long-term, yeah, great. Short-term, actually terrible. Well, I have got so many routines and specific places that I leave specific things. I just forget. I, I should probably leave in a second. Against my will. Wholeheartedly. But yeah, I gotta go to work. I know that I like this. I know I like that from the original. You also kind of like this, to be fair. This first bit. Or is it just this bit that I like? It might be that bit that I like. Maybe. This is the part where I end up being late to work. I think I know what I like about this. I think I know what I like. I like that, and I think I also make it from here. And then I think I switch it up. So I end up using that for this one. And that for that one. I think. I think that's what I want to do. Okay, I can do this and then I'll leave and go. At least then I've drawn a thing and I can come and look at it again tomorrow morning and decide whether I was an idiot or not. Yeah, I think I like that. Yeah, I like that. And then I think from here I need to be careful. But for now, I'm gonna have to call it, or I will actually be late to work. So I will be back at some point tomorrow, probably early. Probably early again. Yeah. I'll finally settle on this. So yeah, catch you in a bit.